All right, Graham. Pre-show shenanigans. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. Celebrating all the holidays. But Grant, for today's pre-show, didn't
No better
cover.
holiday to celebrate than football. That's the best
Hey,
holiday
that is
right
the
now.
holiday. It's taken over. The NBA no longer owns
Well,
Christmas,
Christmas Day football to be determined. We'll get into
but
that
not
when
the
we get into the
pre-show.
NFL.
We didn't cover this the last episode, and I think this is a great pre-show. But Grant, the Patriot games are apparently going to be a thing. I think within like the next year or two, something like
I know what
that.
you're talking about. I know
And
what you're talking about.
essentially, it is a non-lethal Hunger Games,
It's
I
the Hunger
guess.
Games. No, it was the Hunger Games. When I
It's
read it, that's the Hunger
non-lethal
Games.
Hunger Games,
They
maybe.
they select two participants from each state to compete in like in
Now,
Olympic
here's my
Games.
question: Do we
Wait, what
know
are
if
the
it's?
events? Do we know what they're
I don't know,
doing?
but do we know if it's
Is it like a
randomized
tough mudder?
selection? Is it a randomized selection, or is it like you have to actually be
Wait,
athletic
damn
to
it.
get
I
it?
know this is not where we intended to go, but we just got to start off. Which states are the career states? Let's just start off with that. Which states are the career states? California,
Florida.
certainly. Florida's its own country, so I'm
It
not
also
even sure if
depends.
they're in
Like you got
this.
to think about like where, like somewhere in like Wyoming, there's definitely like a specific area in like the country, kind of
What
like
is the most
wooded
popular
lands.
hunting state where we got them up high on the list? They're like district like where is Finnick from? Like 5 or 6? Not a career, but
I don't
oh, they
remember.
mean
He's up there.
business. Oh,
There's
they
like
mean
three or
business over
something,
there.
but
Yeah, actually,
he might be
he's
a career.
yeah, no. They're like he's like 4. That
Yeah.
doesn't really count.
Um,
Like where's our
but
like D8
I'm gonna
sleeper?
do everybody a solid. The career states taking out the entire the eastern seaboard. I don't know if they really qualify. And by that I mean like really the northeast. Like
Like
that's
Massachusetts, Rhode
yeah.
Island,
Yeah,
Vermont.
I don't know if they're gonna do things career cold wise maybe, but like if
Yeah,
you're
no,
talking
this
about
isn't by region. This is by state.
yeah, no,
Okay.
I mean
So
if you want to talk about we have a weather advantage, we're used to the cold. Yeah, go to Minnesota, Wisconsin, or North Dakota in the middle of winter. See how much cold you can deal with for that one. I think they've
yeah,
got
well,
those
we
ones
have
settled.
to ask: are the careers going up north into Big Ten
Yeah,
country? Big
is it
question.
winter weather? Is a winter storm warning
Do they
going on
have
in
to
it?
like? I still don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna guess it's like a tough mudder. You know those like ridiculous Iron
I'll
Man
be honest, Grant.
gauntlet marathon
You know what
things.
the easy solution is for the career states? It's what states produce the best football athletes, and then Florida because they're just crazy in general. But
Okay. If we're
those
going
are the
off
career
that,
states. That's just
I'm
what's going to
doing
produce
this
the best
in
athlete. Like
order. I'm doing this in order too. So at me if you disagree, but I'm going in this order: Florida, Texas, California's 3, Georgia's 4, 5 is
Louisiana.
no.
Okay, all
5
right. I
is
mean, I think that's
Ohio's over Louisiana, but is
I don't know
Ohio?
about that.
Yeah, they are. Look up the recruiting. Go. We'll do it right now if you want to
I'm not going
fight
to
that
spend
one.
time wasting time doing that.
No,
I'll take
because
your
it
word.
is a waste of time. It's a bad argument. But yeah, no. Ohio 5, 6. Chicago, Illinois. Sorry, it's the Chicago area. We don't count Chicago. That's what we're talking about. And Georgia, we're talking about Atlanta. But yeah, I guess Illinois is at 6. But back to the career debate. That's a little bit more fun. Easy
Well,
Florida career,
yeah.
easy Cali career, easy Texas career.
Depends where in Cali though. Just be
Oh yes,
specific. Depends
SoCal,
very
yes. SoCal, yes. SoCal, yes.
depends very much where.
But because California is like also its own country, kind of a cop out answer. Like, duh, they're gonna be in
Yeah.
there. If we're going with a wild card, not on everybody's radar, they wouldn't be a career, but they're in that
I'm going.
frisky
I'm
range
gonna.
year in, year out.
I have
Who
one,
do you have on your mind?
and you're not even gonna be in. I doubt it's the same one at all. And it's because of
Uh,
one man. It's because of one man. Quite literally, because of one
okay.
man.
Let me think who this one man could be. Shit, where is Brian Bosworth from? Is he from Oklahoma?
It's not
Is
football.
he?
It's not football based, but
uh,
Grant,
we
I'm
actually might have to go with the city or town that Victor Wembanyama was born in.
Grant.
That can join in for this.
I'm taking the
Shohei, where's Shohei and all of them
Well,
from?
that's not American.
No, I know, but they count for this.
I don't know
They get
about
in
that.
there.
Not for the
Yeah, no,
Patriot
they
games.
do. Yeah, they do.
But Grant, I'm going with the great state of Alaska. I'm going with the outdoor boys.
It really depends what the events are.
If it's just survival, I'm taking Alaska.
Now, if it's survival, yeah, we're going with the North.
Yeah.
Alaska counts in that northern Canadian border region. Alaska
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah. But I don't
We
know.
don't
We'll
know
see.
what they're doing though. I'm gonna guess it is a gauntlet marathon type thing. I
Probably.
highly doubt they're doing like high jump and like
Well, now if it's like
100-meter
running stuff, if it's
dashes.
running and stuff like that, I actually will take the Northeast because the Boston Marathon
If
and the
it's
New
just
York
like
Marathon are just
Olympic
people who like run.
events, then it's not that. We got to make this
Yeah.
interesting, guys. We got
I'm
to
saying,
make
what
this
if we
interesting.
just did a Hunger Games with like paintball or something like that, and it's just like a multi-day thing like that? Could be interesting.
I'm just thinking views wise. What would be the most watched thing to have them do? I don't know. We'll have to think about this. We'll sit on it.
We'll find out in the next
We'll be
episode.
back with a proper answer.
Yeah.
But
Tune
that's
into
your
the next
food for
episode to
thought.
find out.
Food for thought to start off your Christmas episode. But all right. Without further ado, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today's episode 357. And it is Christmas football. Not the most enticing Christmas slate. The quarterback matchups, a lot to be desired. And Everett, I think it's crazy to say, but Christmas comes down to Dak Prescott. All right. Dak and
really
George
does.
Pickens can save Christmas. It's all up to them. Or they're going to be the Grinch, or they're going to be Santa. We'll see. We'll see which one it is. But yeah, when you look at the slate right now, on paper preseason, we were thinking this is a pretty electric slate. Now that we're here, not quite enticing.
Not as fun. Now it's kind of fucked up, or whatever the meme is. Kind of fucked up now.
Yeah, no, now it's just like not very fun. But lot to break down. College football playoff opening round just wrapped. On to the second round. You want to start college football, start NFL? Where do you want to go?
We can start with some college football and breaking down the remainder of the bracket. I'd like to say I might have gotten a majority of my predictions wrong last week from last episode. However, my Miami and Texas A&M final drive prediction for how the game would end, pretty close.
Oh, did you hit that?
I said Miami would go down to take the lead with like a minute or two left, and Texas A&M would go 3-and-out, throw an interception or something like that. So
it wasn't quite the Carson Beck legacy game we were hyping up.
But
did not improve his draft stock at all.
The concept got us there in the end, though. It's like getting all the math wrong, but somehow getting the right answer. That's essentially what we did.
Yeah, we could start off with Miami A&M. Yeah, no, that one going into that game beforehand, we'll be playing Ohio State in the next round. My main thought, and I told you this, was I think there's a 0% chance Texas A&M could beat Ohio State, but Miami, I think there's at least a chance. There's at least a chance. Carson Beck obviously can throw multiple interceptions, and then Ohio State wins by 40, but he could not, and then it's a close game. So, but with A&M and Marcel Reed, I've seen this debate online a lot about Marcel Reed, specifically A&M. Now, hindsight's 2020, but obviously they got the easy schedule in the SEC. They did not go up against the toughest of the tough. When they had a big-time SEC matchup against Texas, they lost. So hindsight, we know what it is, but yet nothing would make me happier as an Ohio State fan where A&M could be a threat than if they kept rolling out Marcel Reed. It looked like Marcel Reed's going to be their quarterback next year, and yeah, to be honest, I have zero fear of him. Nothing about him scares me. Nothing that he does makes me hold my breath. At least Bryce Underwood, he had that ridiculous confidence that he'll rip a ball into triple coverage and not care and could just hit it. Marcel Reed, there's literally nothing in his game that scares me. And the good news for most of the country, when you look at A&M as a threat, is that A&M fans are going to treat this season as a dub, going 11-2 And like I don't really know how much like improvement they're gonna be making, how much pressure is on them to go make serious improvements. So yeah, no,
I feel
A&M,
like
they're
I feel
not
like
making the
yeah,
playoffs
the
next
the
year.
the pressure
They're
for
not.
them is more so it will be in season pressure next year. Like they're
Yeah,
not going to be
they're
like
not.
let's go into the portal and get all XYZ, right? But like also for the positions that they probably would upgrade in, there's not a lot in the portal. Like they're not going to upgrade off Marcel Reed. Maybe they're gonna go and get some offensive weapons. Like I guess Concepcion is gonna leave. So
I think he's
um
done.
yeah. Well, he
But
already
yeah,
declared
no,
for the draft actually. So like that's I mean that's you're just gonna fill those positions, but even then I don't know if that's gonna do anything.
yeah, A&M though, yeah, I guess it's you know what, objectively, it is a dub season for them. They're Texas 8-4. They had a double-digit win season, so it is a dub for you guys. Miami though, that defense is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
Yep.
I will say though, I've seen a lot of Ohio State fans, my brother included, being like, I don't even know how we score 30. Carson Beck interception,
Well,
short field.
yeah, so we'll get into the Ohio State matchup, but I do have a question for you when we get into Ohio State. So we can move on to the next game here because I don't really want to talk about the G5 games.
Oh,
Just want to
we're
give
going
give
to
a round of applause
Alabama,
to them. But
Oklahoma. Wow. That I don't think there's a more heartbreaking, not heartbreaking, but a, oh my God, pathetic loss than what Oklahoma did. Going up 17-0 to start the game,
yeah,
then lifeless for the rest of the game. So
Alabama
sitting with
woke
that
up.
offense.
Alabama
Uh,
woke up though.
yeah, absolutely lifeless. Guys, should have killed Bama when you had the chance. There were like 4 chances this year to kill them, knock them out of the playoffs. Nobody took them. And now, Alabama, Indiana next round. Everyone's picking Indiana, but shit. I mean,
I don't know. That's a spooky Alabama team to run up
Al-
against right now.
like, you don't want to play Bama. That is not a team you want to face right now. That's
No.
arguably like the last team of those 7 through 12 you want to face. But impressive win for Alabama, gutsy win, and yeah, there's another national title threat in the competition, and they are well oiled and alive. All right, on to the Everett. Can we stop?
Can we stop what?
Can we stop with this whole G5 thing?
No. No, if you want to make it over a G5 team, then win in the regular season.
I hate to say this, but you experienced the last possible bit of G5 success
Okay,
at Tulane.
well, I mean, what I'll also
It's
explain is
dead
if
now.
if you look at JMU and Tulane, they lost by a combined 81 yards to both of the other teams. That was the difference between them and the other teams in those games.
Are you trying to tell me they were close?
I'm not saying whether or not the score was close, but I'm saying if you look at
But
the
who
actual
cares?
yardage, it is close. And
Who
even then,
cares?
JMU put up what the second most points against Oregon this entire year.
Okay, and Oregon was not playing in the second
Yes,
half.
they were. They had 3 of their all pro or all conference players on defense on the field when those last drive when
Okay,
they went
they're on
99
the,
yards.
but it's a way different game plan when you're up by what,
I
40?
mean, it's still Dan Lanning was going for it, scoring, trying to score touchdown. It wasn't just, oh, let me
Of
go run out the
course.
clock. So I don't think
Well,
that that's
no,
a fair.
they
It's not a
were.
fair basis to be like, oh, they weren't caring, they weren't trying. Like they clearly were caring, they clearly were trying.
Okay, but do you want to give JMU credit for the backdoor cover?
I mean, you always give credit for the backdoor cover, but like as a general
We're giving
point though,
Signetti handouts here on the pod.
as a general point though, like there should always be one G5 auto bid or just a way for them to be in the game because they are half the FBS. And if you're going to say that they don't deserve it, then
More
that's
than
not fair.
half, but this
That's
is
not
like
fair. Like
this
that's
is its
then it's
own.
not college football. The whole point of college
No,
football.
it is. Well, that's
No,
the
the
thing.
whole
People
point of
try
college
to
football
make
is that you
college football like college basketball and
it's
stuff.
not making it
College
like college
football,
basketball. If
the
a
auto
team
bids
deserves to
are
be
college
there,
basketball.
if a team deserves to be there,
JMU deserved to be there.
no, Tulane deserved to
Deserved.
be there.
Deserved.
Tulane did deserve to be there.
They got it. They
No,
gave
they
them.
beat the ACC champion, and the ACC didn't get in. They were the last conference champion to get in.
I'm
That would have
just.
been the seed.
It's just
No,
college football
the
as a whole
ACC
to
should have been better.
grow
If
the
you want to blame
sport.
anybody, then blame the ACC.
They're a joke. Don't get me wrong.
Like it's
Absolute
as a
joke.
sport, I understand the
I believe there
dilemma.
shouldn't be any auto
I
bids.
I, under,
It
I
should be the top
understand
12 ranked
I
teams are in the
understand the
playoff.
dilemma, but also you need to give access to over half, like you just said, of the college
You
football
guys
teams.
should have your own playoff.
No, because no one's going to watch it. That's not going to get any viewership. Nobody's going to give a fuck. It's like, do you watch the
But
FCS?
these
Do you
opening
watch the
rounds,
FCS?
no.
Okay, so then why would any of the G5 decide to do that on their own? Why would they ever do
Because
that?
it, it,
No,
it
no, no, no. Why?
is a
Yeah,
route.
if you're the G5, tell me exactly why you, as the
What is
G5,
the
would choose
benefit,
to do
though?
that.
What is the benefit to getting slaughtered in the opening round? And
You
then your
get
team gets
it doesn't
gutted
matter.
after the year.
I mean, you're gonna get gutted either way. If you do well in the G5, every single year the P4 is gonna go and poach your coaches, poach your
No, I
players,
know,
because that's
but
what's gonna
like
happen. So it
that's
doesn't make any difference.
no. It's increasing. So like
Well, no, even if you split and did your own thing, the P4 is still gonna do that.
I'm well aware.
So why
but,
would
like,
I not want to get more money,
let's
more
give you guys
viewership, more
something.
recognition, more brand? There's no
But is
no
it like
other
is
reason
it
for me to do that. Yes, it is. I will tell
is
you
it though
firsthand it is.
getting slaughtered?
Tulane just made $8.5 million for making the playoffs and losing in the first round. They got 350% more donations this year within this period than last year at the same time when they were in the conference championship and they lost. There's a massive difference between playing in an FCS style championship and what just happened, even if you are going to lose. It is massive for those fan bases. Even if you're going to lose, it drives mass amounts of revenue for not only those schools,
I get
but
it.
for the
Yeah.
players and the coaches. And it is not just specific to athletics. The actual increase in admission to those schools is big too.
Yeah. Look up what
So
Nick Saban did to Alabama. Look at what he did to the state of Alabama.
That's the whole thing. Like, I understand for viewership, oh, you want the 12 best teams or whatever. That's fine. I understand that. But you can't just remove an entire part of college football on the FBS level. If you want to now do, hey, we have an 11 and 12 seed, right? And let's do a play-in game. We'll give a bid to a G5 team the play-in game. And then if Notre Dame goes and beat Tulane, then they can be in the normal playoffs. Fine. I don't care. We can do that. But there needs to be some avenue or some way for a G5 school to participate in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just college football as a whole, when you're trying to attract more viewers.
Also,
let's
let's also not act like these blowouts did not happen last year or any other year in the playoffs or in college football. It's the sole fact that you're like, oh, it's the G5. It's the label on it.
Come on.
No,
like,
that's the label on it. This has happened every other year. No, this has happened every other year in college football. It's happened several times this year in college football. It's purely the name of it being the G5. That's the only reason why you want it to be that way. You don't want it to be in the G5 because that's the identification of it. They're not a big name brand.
It's not that it's
just not a big name brand.
It's just like them going up against any of the top 12 teams. It's like literally not fair.
It depends. I mean, some years, sure, but other years we've had schools go and lose to G5 teams that were top teams. Like,
sure,
it's just it.
But in a playoff environment, though,
that's fine. But that's why I'm saying if you're thinking in a playoff environment, one of these teams are going to lose, then do a play-in game and have the actual playoffs that matter so much. Those can be the top 12 teams, but you still have an avenue for this way. You know, if you had a 2-game play-in game for the 11 and 12 seed, you'd have Texas and you'd have Notre Dame, or BYU and Notre Dame, who are the first 2 teams out. They can go and play Texas and 1 G5 team or 2 G5 teams if you want to use JMU and Tulane, whatever. If BYU and Notre Dame both win those games, great. They can be in it and
well, they won't. We're just going to 16.
That's also fine.
When you're taught, like, they're not doing those play-ins.
There needs to be a way for over half of the teams in FBS to play. If it's just, it happened this year to have 2 teams because the ACC sucked. But a team like Tulane who did lose in a blowout fashion, sure, they still deserve to be there. They beat the ACC champion. By the way the rules are, I get you don't want to have auto bids for champions, but they were the next best champion to be in that spot. They did deserve. Well,
here, I think let's talk about this whole deserving thing. That, like, this is kind of my problem. The college football playoff has never been about the most deserving. Very first playoff, they put Ohio State in over TCU, Baylor, even though TCU and Baylor deserved it over Ohio State. Then Ohio State beats Alabama, beats Oregon as touchdown to 10+ point underdogs in both. After that, nobody said a peep. Nobody discredited Ohio State, just saying, oh, they didn't deserve it. Oh, they shouldn't have even been. Nobody said a peep. It was like, all right, they were the best team. We made the right choice. And then last year, committee further reinforced it, not this season, last year, further reinforced it. It is not about most deserving. It is about who we think the best, or sorry, 2 years ago when Bama got in the last spot. It has never been about most deserving. It has been about who we think is the best. And because this committee flip flops, shit, this year it was about most deserving. Next year it'll be about who they think is the
I
best.
mean,
Just make up your damn mind. We
that's
all know
fine.
it's about the best.
I
It
understand
always
like
has been.
being
And
disgruntled about it and it's annoying, but like the biggest issue that I have with all the discourse for G5 is how specifically biased and one-sided it is towards the G5 because blowouts in this fashion happen every year with P4 teams against P4 teams, big names against big names, and you never hear a peep about how they shouldn't have been in the playoffs. Last year, when we had Tennessee getting blown out, or we've had Penn State getting blown out, or Indiana getting blown out, we are just like, oh, well, they made it. They clearly didn't deserve to be in it. Like they clearly, lost. They weren't good, but they should have been in the playoffs over all these other teams. The discourse this year is different because it's G5, but this happens every year. Those kind of games happen
of course,
every year.
blowouts happen. It's just like those P4
And
teams,
I
if you
I
get
understand
slaughtered,
I,
like
I
there's a
understand that it's your
chance
I
that they
understand.
could pull it off
No, I
beforehand.
understand that. And like, look, if a
Like
G5
last
team,
year,
it
Tennessee, we
if
shit
it
on them.
if a G
Tennessee was not a
if
rollover.
if a G5 team makes it to the second round, like if Tulane won, this past week and went to go play Georgia, I understand you'd be like, all right, well, Georgia's probably going to win that game. This way, it's more competitive. It's Ole Miss, right? Like I get that, right? But at the same time, it's not like there is a talent gap, but it's not to the level where it's impossible for somebody to pull off an upset. We've seen that happen several times.
Sure, it's
Also,
not
also
impossible.
a lot
It's
of
just like,
these teams that make that are from the G5 that make it to the college football playoffs or make it right there, all of their talent then gets poached and actually produces at the next level. So they have the talent to do that. We see it with Indiana. Indiana had the same amount of 5 stars as JMU this year in the playoffs. They had, I think, maybe less 4 stars than JMU did in the playoffs this year. Like it is, teams can produce when they're getting the talent level that the G5 has. It's just a matter of the year. And I don't think it's fair to analyze it in the way that everybody has right
yeah, it's just we can't be having just pointless opening playoff games. Like that wasn't the point of the playoff. That
now.
was
I
not the
get it.
point of
It's
this whole
it's
thing.
it's it's not, but like you still need to have access. And it's also because of other legal issues that ESPN has had. You have antitrust policies and stuff that you just can't kick people out like that. But that's besides the point.
Well, sure. I mean, like what it's going to be next year, it's going to be the top 16 teams can be ranked 1 through 16. Those are the teams you get in. So it doesn't eliminate
No,
G5
that's
getting in the
that's
playoff.
that's fine. But like it's there's always I'm just more so saying also, even if that is the case, there's always going to be somebody who complains. And it could be literally the G5 getting in with that last 16 spot or whatever like that, right? But if they're going to be like, oh, well, we were just outside. We had 3 losses as an SEC school. We were ranked 17. We should be in over that G5 team that's at 16. That's always going to be the case, no matter what it is. It will always be the case.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, those teams, like, I don't know, past, let's be real, there's probably like eight. Now it's growing. Now it's growing. There could be up to 10 teams that could win the national championship every year now. I'd say it could be up to that number now. But yeah, there's a lot to be desired in this college football playoff. A lot to be desired.
But looking
I'm
at
gonna
how the
guess they'll
bracket is
probably
now,
butcher it again next season too.
let's look at how the
Certainly
bracket is
will.
now, though. We have a very solid, 8-team playoff going through the rest of the way here. Um, should be entertaining. But Grant, I do want to start off with your game here with Ohio State. Um, so I saw that Ryan Day has taken over play calling duties for the offense from Brian Hartline for this
Yeah,
at
now
least
that
this next
is
game.
that is
I
something that
I'm
happened
curious.
mid-season also.
Okay.
Brian Hartline is not a good play caller. That was like my big question mark going into the year. Like, I
Right.
have no idea if this dude could even call plays. And when allowed to call plays this year, he has not looked good. He called it in the Indiana game. Dude, what the hell? Like, go to USF, get out of here. Like, leave, bro. Like, you don't do anything for us. So, yeah, no, he's not recruiting for us anymore. That's why he was here. He doesn't call plays. So just leave, dude. Why are you here? No, yeah, Ryan Day play calling, that was like the best news I've ever heard. Unfortunately, it's not going to be 2020 Sugar Bowl Justin Fields to Olave and JMO Ohio State. I just don't really think we have that
Well, so let me.
have
This
that
is
in
this
us
is
this
more
year.
so what I was curious
But
about when you were when I saw that first was because we've talked about it with Ryan Day a lot specifically how when it comes to coaching in a game, like he's much better when he hasn't been like calling plays and he's just been focused on what's going on. I obviously
I
don't know
think the
how it was
team has
earlier.
looked better when that happens. The team has
So
looked better as a
I don't
whole.
know, I don't know how it was earlier in the season where when he took over play calling, but like, is there any concern going into this game for
Not
that?
at all. Last year, when that happened, like a big reason why Ryan did that is because Jim Knowles is an incompetent loser and like couldn't call a defense. So Ryan Day like had to do that shit, or else another Oregon was gonna happen. So like that's like what really prompted it last year. And it was actually going into last season. Ryan Day's like, I'm giving up play calling, chips play calling, uh, and really it was like, dude, I don't trust Jim Knowles to do this shit. Jim Knowles, a lot of beef at the end of his Ohio State tenure after that Oregon game in Oregon, not the Rose Bowl, the one midseason. Ohio State was getting gashed. And right after that game, Jim Knowles was stripped of his play calling duties, and now Larry Johnson was allowed to do his front four, and they stopped with Jim Knowles' bullshit. Jack, stupid ass, making Jack Sawyer stand up. The dude's slow as hell. What are you doing? He needs a
Yeah,
hand
we
in the
we have
dirt, you
seen his get
idiot.
off. It is not good.
Dude's got negative wiggle. Literally cannot move side to side. He can't. Jim Knowles thought it was a good idea to have him stand up. Like, dude, you're an idiot. But that was the main reason last year. This year, Matt Patricia, he runs that whole show. Like, if
Yeah,
Ryan Day tried to interfere, he's harming the team. He's best off not even saying a thing to Matt. And so, because Matt Patricia's there, I'm okay with this happening.
because
Obviously,
it's
I don't
less
think this is
focused
a
to deal with
long
the
term.
defensive side.
He doesn't do anything. Like,
Yeah,
literally, I think if Ryan Day tried to give input, it would harm the defense. I literally think so. Like, dude, just shut up. Let him do it.
yeah,
So I'm not really
no,
concerned. Like I think this made me happy when I found this out. Because if anything, I'm surprised this got leaked. Usually, like last year when Ryan Day first took over play calling, was not
I
they
do
did
feel
not
like
announce
this
that
this
shit.
can't be a surprise like at all though, especially with
No,
Hartline
no.
like putting together his staff and stuff.
And last offensive performance, literally the week
Yeah,
he takes a new job, is the worst Ohio State's offense has looked all year. And
you guys
like
put up
I know
10 points
Hartline
that game.
called Indiana. Yeah, 10
10.
points. I know
Yeah,
Hartline called that.
yeah, you're gonna need a little bit more than 10 points this week.
If
So
Indiana scores 13 points, we should win that game every single time. It's pathetic we didn't. Like, really think about that. We held them to 13 and we don't win. That is so pathetic. Like, what?
yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, so let's get into the actual like analysis of like the game here. Is there anything that you're looking like Ohio State needs to do, not do?
My
Um,
biggest concern is going to be pass pro and blocking Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain
mhm.
likes to line up on that strong side against the right tackle, so not blind side. He's coming off the edge. Quarterback is seeing Ruben Bain coming off the edge every single play, and that is a massive matchup. Philip Daniels versus Ruben Bain. That is the key matchup of the game. Ruben Bain is Malachi Tony's probably the best player on their team. Ruben Bain is just a wrecker, a game wrecker. When I talk about those dynamic game wrecking type defensive players, he fits that bill. He's gonna be a top 5, top 10 pick in the draft, easy. But blocking him is the key for Ohio State's offense. Ironically, I think we're gonna like run the ball eight. Not saying we're running for 150, but if Bo Jackson had 16 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown, I wouldn't flinch at all. That sounds pretty about right what he would do. Uh, the big concern though is going to be when they're in the zone. The only time I've seen Julian Sands struggle literally in his college career was last week, Indiana running or not last week, 2-3
2
weeks
weeks ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Heavy zone scheme, hardly any man, a lot of changing parts in the backfield post
I mean,
snap.
it's way harder for you to read a zone scheme, especially as a first time starter. Like,
Well, yeah, and I mean,
yeah,
you look at the NFL. Like I was thinking about this out loud the other day in the NFL. Why do they run so much zone? Like at this point in the NFL, every quarterback is trained to recognize man. When they're in man, attack. When you
Well,
know they're in
also,
man, now we attack.
let me just use
And
this as a
teams
key.
don't call man
Let me
anymore.
use this as a key example, and I was going to save it for the NFL section, but like Philip Rivers, this game last night, Monday night, he's going up to the line and making all the checks at the line because the 49ers are running so
Yeah.
much zone, he's making checks. When was the last time you saw an actual quarterback right now go up to the line and do
Yeah,
all those
making
checks like that?
substantial checks
You
at the
haven't
line.
seen that
Literally
since
haven't
Tom
seen
Brady
that.
retired, or maybe Matthew Stafford's doing it right now. But like, you don't see that anymore, and that's why you can run zone because nobody's checking out the receivers and the O line to pick up certain.
Yeah, but it's so prevalent now, and in college it's happening too. But it's like, if we're seeing like year 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks in the NFL still being confused by
Yeah,
defenses, of course a college quarterback is going to shit his pants when you line up in cover two and then it's a full on shift rotation and you are like hard covering your flat hooks. Like, you shit your pants, throw a pick and start crying on the sideline. Tommy Rees curses you out, tells you do your effing job. That's what the life of a college quarterback is like when you see zone. And so, yeah, Juliet, like that's going to be Miami's game plan. They saw it last week. Heavy, heavy zone. Also, fun fact, when it's 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10, Brian, thank God you're not play calling. I think there's a 99% chance Ohio State calls curl, button curls on 3rd and medium, a
I didn't realize
99%
we were playing
chance.
NCAA.
It's like, can we have some variability, Brian? Just
Okay, we'll throw an
anything.
RPO in there, an RPO curl in
I
there.
will accept that. That counts. That it could be an RPO hitch curl. All right, it's still the same play, but some variation. It cannot be hitches every 3rd and 5. That's why they just sit on it.
Yeah,
Ball
no,
snapped. The linebacker doesn't even take a step back. He knows you're about to. He knows it's 4-yard hook. So I'm actually taking a step up when the ball snapped. It's pathetic. It's a joke. You got to fix that shit. Well, Ryan, it's now up to you. I would say fix it. Nah, dude, it's a whole new offense. They had too much time to prepare for this. Also, boys, look up Ryan Day when having extended time to prepare for an opponent. Usually does pretty damn well. Usually does pretty well. This one doesn't exactly count because, their game just ended last week. So,
yeah.
but you get what I mean. But my favorite I got 2 favorite matchups of the week. I kind of want to hear what you think, but Indiana, Alabama, I'm fascinated with.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
the most I have no idea how this one's going to go is Texas Tech, Oregon. Texas Tech, Oregon, just I love both of these teams. I think I was a hater of Texas Tech. I now believe. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I think they could win it all. And this one, I picked Oregon. I picked that pre-bracket. I'm not I'm not that sold on it just because I think I've been overlooking Texas Tech. And I think I've been putting
I,
Texas Tech beneath a lot of teams, and they really aren't.
I do. I agree with you. I also just think the general public has been doing that a lot, and I think that it's been discourse based on what we've said before. Where we're like, hey, we have a really strong impression of Texas Tech's defense. We don't
Yeah,
have that much of an impression, a high
of their
regard of the
offense.
offense, and I
Yeah.
do think the offense is a little underrated. Do I think that they would be able to keep up with Oregon if the defense, kind of falters a little bit? No, I don't.
Yeah,
Um,
that it like
that's the
Oregon has
that's the concern.
firepower. And I
That is the
think Evan
concern.
Stewart might be coming back
And
one of these weeks.
I'm gonna be honest, like what I saw in the last game,
Of Oregon.
just Oregon JMU, what I saw from Oregon on that side, Oregon can score a lot of points, but they can get scored on. Like, and I get we were talking about this in the second half, but like still JMU putting up 30, 31, 34, something like that. I think that gives a little bit of life to
Where is this game?
Texas Tech's
Hard
offense.
Rock Stadium in
Yeah.
Miami.
I think
Okay.
it gives a little bit more juice to Texas Tech's offense, and I feel less concerned about their ability to keep up. Like, I think the offense defense matchup on both sides works out really well for both
How
of them.
the
Like, I
hell
think
did Texas Tech lose to Arizona State this year? Like what?
I think was that before
How?
Leavitt got hurt or Levitt got hurt, whatever his last name.
I'm checking.
Um,
Yeah,
but
Levitt 319
yeah,
passing yards.
that's why. That's why.
Lit
Um,
him up, bro. Lit him
I
up.
look if you had to make me put money where my mouth is and put money down on the game, I would take Oregon. But I don't, I think that it's
Yeah, I
unfair
took Oregon
to
pre.
not give Texas Tech any credit because they are there. Like defense wins championships for a reason.
Right
And
now in college football, defense wins champion.
yeah,
Right
and
now,
if
defense wins
if they
championships.
can hold Oregon's offense, Texas Tech can win this game. And it will be solely because of their defense. But I do think Texas Tech's offense could potentially score on Oregon's defense. And if Texas Tech's defense can hold Oregon's offense, then we have a game. We have a
Yeah,
good
I'm
game.
thinking back to that Oregon Indiana game from earlier in the year. Indiana holding Oregon to 20 points at home. That is like you're gonna need to hold them. Like,
And they can. They
oh
can. They
yeah,
can do
oh
it.
yeah.
Like this would be the one team, arguably one of the worst matchups for Oregon, just defensively.
I'm looking
Um,
back at this. Yeah, like Oregon, they actually ran the ball relatively effectively. Um, but it's just because of game script, they were down the second half. They couldn't run the ball anymore. Uh, but yeah, I think for this one, my player to watch used to go to SC with him. He was here for like 2 months, then he hit the portal. But shout out my dog, Romello Height, edge for Texas Tech. Romello, you have a special place in my heart. You brought too much joy to my life with the comments you made in class, and I am your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan
was
this
this the
weekend.
one that he sat next to you in class?
Yes, he's the one who lost his car and missed a month and a half of class because that class time was when he looked for his car.
Yeah. No,
He's a legend.
that's a
He's an
dog right
absolute legend,
there.
and
Grant, yeah,
great stories about Auburn from him
my
too.
my pick, Grant, my player to watch. It's going to be his first appearance in like 12 weeks. Makai Hughes going to start at running back for Oregon and just
He is?
no, he's not. He's not.
Oh
He's not.
shit! I
I'm
thought you were about to
manifesting.
break
I'm
news.
manifesting.
I was about to say that.
Um,
Wait, Everett, that would have been the dirtiest scheme because conference championship playoff games do not count towards your red shirt.
there's like
So
it's a
if Mackay played
possibility.
in these, it wouldn't impact. He would still be. What is he? A junior? He'd still be a
Arguably,
junior.
it could be the best thing for him to do because he gets more tape out.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But no, my player is going to be Jacob Rodriguez. I don't think that's it's not
no,
like it's a
one of
popular
us had
one.
to have said his name. It would have
Somebody
messed
has
up
to
if we
say it, and
didn't.
he's the heart, he's the key of the defense, and that's going to be the player to watch on both teams because if they stop Oregon's offense, it's going to be because of him, and if they don't, it's going to be because of him. So
Yeah, I was gonna say if I have one last little quick player that I want to shout out in Oregon, I think gonna be very key to this game. Kenyon Sadiq and I think Jeremiah McClellan or not Jeremiah McClellan, Decorian Moore will be playing in this game.
he should be.
I'm assuming Decorian Moore is playing. Evan Stewart, I don't know exactly, but Kenyon Sadiq and Decorian Moore are gonna need to have massive games, and those are guys that can do it in on this stage. So yeah, those are the guys to watch on Oregon side. Last two, real quick. We're speeding this. Ole Miss, Georgia. Georgia's shitting on them. Okay, that was the preview for that. And then, yeah, Alabama, Indiana. Very.
Arguably the best matchup of the week.
What I will say is, even if Indiana gets to a lead early, I don't. That doesn't.
I'm
kill
not
it.
counting
Bama
after what we saw
can
last
play.
week. We know they can
Bama,
play from behind.
they cannot run the ball. They can only pass. So guess what? If they're down 20, they don't care because it's the same offensive game plan as they would have done.
There's
if they were up.
there's pressure, but
They
the
don't run.
stress is just it's the same.
They play Madden. Okay.
Now
They
I will
pass
be
every
honest.
play. Okay. They play Madden. Everett.
Indiana could potentially win this game hand. There's a possibility that they do win this game hand.
Oh yeah.
However, I don't expect it to be the case because I do think Alabama kind of figured it out in the second half. I don't know what they did. I don't know if they called up Connor Stallions and had him break down the
Not the worst idea.
side, but they figured it out. And it's the underdog mentality because that's what they're going to come into this game with. And if you're any of these powerhouse teams and you come in with an underdog, that's like the worst teams for you to have to play against that has an
Nobody wants to play Alabama when Alabama's mad.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Bama when they're
and I do think look, Indiana Kurt Signetti is what
Hey, he
arguably the
used to
best coach in
coach
college
at
football.
Bama. All right, Sig knows a thing or two at Bama. He
He
used to coach
he
under Saban.
he is arguably, if not the best coach in college football. Indiana has looked like the best
I
team in
would
college
say he is the
football.
best right now when you consider what he had. He is the best right now in
You
terms of
know, so
performance versus
he's gonna have them
expectations.
prepared, and having this, like, I know last year they came out flat, right? Indiana hasn't played a playoff game yet this year.
They're much better this year than last year too.
That's my point. And now they also
Significantly
have
better.
time to sit here. And, I think if I'm Kurt Signetti, he probably had two game plans. He spent the first week game planning for both. And then
I'll
halfway through the
actually say
game,
this. This is
he
a
probably
really
started
key
doing for Bama.
point, and I do not know what the case is for this, but Indiana needs to have their starting right tackle healthy. If Zen Mahalski is their right tackle in this game, oh shit. Zen Mahalski was the third string tackle for Ohio State, hit the portal, went to Indiana, lost the job badly, never even had a shot at starting at Indiana, had to fill in the Big Ten championship game. In the first half, he was getting picked on, okay, like it was that one year the Bucks, and every single time Giannis would
Oh,
pull
God.
up the guy guarding Chris Paul and like switch, give me Chris Paul, and he was getting picked on like a deer, is what I'm trying to say. And they need to make, if Zen Mikulski is your starter at right tackle, chip every play. I'm not lying, Everett. Every single play he gets help. Every
Yeah.
single play. It could be a stretch off left tackle. He's getting a double team still because he will lose and find a way to let somebody make this play. So that's actually my key for Indiana.
That's your player key.
Have your right tackle be healthy. Okay. Get a lot of Toradol. A lot. Okay. That's my number one piece of advice. But 6.5 point favorite. I actually think it's a fair line.
I do too.
I would say if I got to
And
play
look,
in this one, sneaky under.
a touchdown is
Sneaky
really
under.
not that. I mean, like, that's a close game. That's
No.
still a close game.
Yeah.
So, I like that.
I'm thinking sneaky under.
But I don't know what the underline is.
48.5. Pretty low line, I know, but I feel like it's like over. No, under. You see 48.5, you're
I
like,
mean, we
over.
saw the last game. We saw the last game Indiana played with Ohio State. Yeah. I would agree.
Indiana makes it
agree with
yucky.
that.
They make it gross. There's gonna be
You're gonna play.
punts.
They're gonna make you play Indiana
There's gonna be
football.
missed
That's
field
what's gonna
goals.
happen.
That's what
what's
this
gonna.
game is.
It's, oh God, not the Miami Texas
Dude,
A&M game again.
I
That was
started
disgusting.
feeling bad. Feeling bad.
That was disgusting.
It's been a really long time since I felt bad for a kicker, but
All
I
right,
felt
Grant.
bad.
The last game here. Or did we cover them all?
We got them all.
We got them all. Sweet,
Yep.
sweet. I lost track. I lost track after a second.
Oh yeah, no. Remember Ole Miss, Georgia? Yeah,
Right,
Georgia.
that was they're yeah, I forgot. Right, yeah. I do think Ole Miss might put up a little bit of a fight, but we'll see. For my actually, you know what? I want them to lose, so I'm not even gonna say anything.
Screw Ole Miss. We want to lose.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, let's get into the NFL here. Last week I went. Let's see here. I went 9-7. I'm gonna guess you do better than me.
Last week I had a 12-4 week.
Yeah, so I'll be reading the games. There's a correlation for you reading games and doing extremely well. Not my season this year. I believe I'm eliminated from our championship.
I'm 1 week on, 1 week off. I'm like the Carolina Panthers. They literally have gone 1-1 for like the past 2 months.
I'm kind of similar to that. Although I've been liking going 9-7 a lot lately. Don't know why specifically 9-7.
I'll just like 9-7.
I'm like Mike
numbers.
Tomlin.
8-8.
I'm like Mike Tomlin. I'm gonna go just over even somehow every year. Okay, Grant. Here are our week 17 matchups.
I got a debate for you after you say these games, but
okay.
Yeah.
Christmas Day, we have Cowboys at Commanders at noon, followed by Lions at Vikings. Merry Christmas to me. And then
you'll be at that game, correct?
I will be at that game. I will not have seen JJ McCarthy played a single time in any of the games I've gone to this year. And then that night, Thursday night football, we have Broncos at Chiefs. Saturday, Grant, we have Texans at Chargers, and Saturday night we have Ravens at Packers. Sunday, noon slate, Cardinals at Bengals, Steelers at Browns, Saints at Titans, Jaguars at Colts, Bucks at Dolphins, Patriots at Jets, and Seahawks at Panthers.
Mm.
Afternoon slate, we have Giants at Raiders, Eagles at Bills. And then for Sunday Night Football, we have arguably matchup of the week, Bears at 49ers. Monday night, we have Rams at Falcons, Grant. You want to ask your question now or after I do my picks?
We'll do picks. I was just have a little coach debate.
Okay.
It's been a while since we had a coach debate.
Yeah,
I
it's
have a
been a
little
little bit.
coach debate.
Okay. All right. Well, here are my picks, Grant. Cowboys, Vikings, just take the Lions. Please just take the Lions.
I will be taking the
Broncos,
Lions this week.
Texans, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Saints, Jags, Bucks, Patriots, Seahawks, Raiders, Bills, 49ers, and Rams.
Okay, I'll be honest. I love your Ravens pick. I'm not going to change my to mine, but shit, I love your Ravens pick. Okay. Cowboys, Lions, Broncos, Chargers, Packers, Bengals, Steelers, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Steelers, but I hate
also
it.
don't like it.
Saints, Jags, Bucks, Patriots. Oh my God, all away teams. Okay, Patriots, all away teams there. Raiders, the most WTF game in the
Are you not flipping a coin on the podcast to determine
No,
this?
I'm picking Raiders. I'm making it so I win no matter what. If Raiders lose this game, I get to laugh at them. If Raiders win this game, they get a worse draft pick.
Yeah.
So I'm winning this game no matter what. Bills, Bears, Rams.
Yeah.
I hate the Bears pick too.
Well, so here's my thing with the Bears.
But I hopped on that bandwagon last week. I can't jump off it after 1 week. I gotta at least go 2.
I'm still fading them.
I've been fading them all year, and it did not.
And I also just, I got to remember, the Bears have been bailed out so many times playing good teams.
They are the one score team.
And last week the Packers are a good team. Jordan Love goes out with a concussion like the second quarter. They've been bailed out every single time. So unless there's some divine intervention in this game as well, the 49ers might stink them, Grant.
Well, funny you say unless there's divine intervention. Remember who the new pope is, Everett? There quite literally is divine intervention.
There quite literally actually is divine intervention. Yeah. Well. I eat my own words, I guess, on that one. Yeah, Christmas episode too. Quite literally the most divine intervention there could be is this week. Well,
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't think it was possible. He's still not going to hit 4,000 passing yards this year, right?
So he should be like
okay. So the curse still lit. I truly believed there was no quarterback in the history of Earth moving forward that could ever be successful in Chicago. Caleb, he might be.
I just want to say, not to dampen the mood, but in Matt Nagy's
I'm forgetting.
In Matt Nagy's first year with the Bears, he made Mitch Trubisky a Pro Bowl quarterback. So this is Ben Johnson's first.
Was that Khalil Mack year?
Yes.
That first year?
Yes, was the first year. So don't forget there has been successful seasons. But no, Mitchell, yeah. I mean, it could have a repeat here. I don't know.
I still have trauma from you saying the term Mitchell Trubisky. Trauma.
Quarterbacks in that Madden league. But here, what's your coach debate? Let's get the coach debate.
All right, coach debate. Now, I can't remember when, but early in the year, I remember I asked you quickly. It got shut down, so I shut up, did not address it again. But I brought up, Todd Bowles, I don't know how good of a coach he is. And earlier in the year, you were like, I don't think that's the guy we go after. I'm like, all right, okay. Now we're looking at it.
Different.
Todd Bowles and I'm blanking on my second name. Where is it? Not Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. These two guys.
So
what have these guys done? What have they done?
The interesting thing with John Harbaugh, it's a similar he's
Mike Tomlin was going to be on this list.
He did it again, but it's that same. Even with Mike Tomlin, it's the same point we made about Dave Roberts a year or two ago. It's like, okay, well, they get you to this point every year. How much further can they get? Right? Like you sometimes need to move on to move up. And that's a similar thing I think with John Harbaugh. Like John Harbaugh, since the Ravens Super Bowl with Flacco, he's made the playoffs. They've never made it to the Super Bowl. They've never won a conference championship.
I don't even know how many playoff games they've won with
maybe
Lamar
like one or two with Lamar. And that could also be a question of Lamar too. On top of that, not just
Yeah, yeah,
Harbaugh.
no, I'm not putting all this
Um,
on Harbs. A lot of
I
it
do
though.
think like they have a chance to win their division this year. Not a great division this season in the AFC North, but um, I think that you have to give them one more year because you still have injuries. Like it's just, but it's always the excuse with the Ravens. I feel like it's always, well, we had injuries. We could have done better if we weren't hurt. Um, my leash for him would probably be about one more season, and it would probably be a similar thing to Pete Carroll at the end of his tenure in the Seattle, where it was like, hey, you mean a lot to this franchise. Maybe we move you in the front office kind of thing, but I don't really think that there's anybody available this year, especially in a head coaching role, that would do better than John Harbaugh is going to do in Baltimore. Um, Still a hell of a coach overall, and like I just if there was a Ben Johnson caliber name, then I would think about it, but I wouldn't. I really wouldn't let Harbaugh go unless it's for somebody like that. And
Yeah, no,
it's a
probably
similar
wouldn't do it
debate to
unless you
Mike
have a
Tomlin.
guy.
It's a similar
Uh,
thing to Mike Tomlin. Like you essentially have to have a guy that could potentially take you to that next level because nobody else will produce the same thing that Mike Tomlin does. Like you don't really want to have a really shitty season. Like you might have mediocrity, right? But mediocrity is still better than just being ass. So that's kind of the gray area. With Todd Bowles, though, it's really hard to defend him right now. That
it's
that
tough.
division that division is so bad this
I
season compared to
genuinely
everything
would like
else.
to know. I wish we had some device where you could like screen capture record what goes on through his mind during the games. I literally think it would be like a squirrel just
He's
banging cymbals back and forth.
the
That's it.
Energizer Bunny.
This
Like this.
guy, I like
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
mean,
what
look,
goes on
like
through his mind.
we've had like the big thing for Todd Bowles has been his defense has been pretty consistent through his time there. I'm pretty sure he's a defensive guy, and offensively, Baker Mayfield has been, he's been the dog mentality. He's gone out, he's been the playmaker, and
But
he's
I
had the
think
wide
we're
receivers
giving a
making
lot
plays and
of
stuff.
that to
But
Liam Cohn.
here's the thing: the offense performance has largely been based on the offensive coordinators Todd Bowles
Yeah.
has hired. Dave Canales did really well. Liam Cohen did well. Brian Leftwich did really
We
well when
can
he was
give
there.
Todd Bowles some credit because
You can
he
hide him.
somehow knows all these
Yeah.
guys. He
But
somehow knows them all.
it's still the same thing. The offense for the Bucks has compared to the first half of the season, the second half of the season, it has looked horrific. And
Awful.
that
I mean,
that not only
awful.
has to fall on the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, that falls on the head coach for managing that.
Yeah.
And the defense has been similar. I think the defense has just been kind of consistent this year. I don't think it's been elite. I don't think it's been horrible, but
Yeah, no, they,
it's been
yeah.
okay. And like, yeah, that's great, but that's not going to win you a
We'll say this.
championship.
The defense they have this year, from what we thought the offense was going to be, a top five offense, this defense is more than capable of
Yeah,
what we
but
thought that
I
offense,
just
that team
I think
being
that
12,
in
11
the
wins.
past, the Bucks, I think in the playoffs when they've won, they've gone in. They're good in the playoffs. They figure it out in the playoffs. And they go in with a dog mentality and they put it together. This year they would definitely be in the same situation, but I don't know, like unless something, it's the divine
Yeah, it's
intervention
not.
question too. Like unless something clicks, if this is the way that they've kind of gone in the playoffs, like Mike Evans is back, McMillan is back, Godwin is back, Emeka Egbuka has fallen off a cliff, but we saw what he did at the start. Bucky is back. Baker Mayfield might not fully be healthy, but he's still there. It's not like he's not playing.
Are
You have
we sure
all
Emeka Egbuka isn't a Toronto Argonaut right now? Because he is missing. All right, he
um,
is not in the
but
NFL
but
today.
like you have all those weapons back on your team. The offense, in theory, should be operating at its peak right now, and it's operating worse than it did the first 7 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
So
they've gone
that's the
backwards in the
question.
worst
And
way possible.
if it's me, there are potential candidates this offseason that I think could be better coaches for the Bucks than Todd Bowles is. And Todd Bowles is similar like Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, where it's consistency, but his consistency is not to the same level as that at
Yeah,
all.
he's a consistent 40% win rate each year,
Like he can get you 50%. Like he'll be resting around the 7 to 9 win range, but whether it's 7 wins or 9 wins is a question. You don't know. Right.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, if it was me, you're not going to want a Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is not going to fix the offense. The offensive coordinator is not going to figure it out. Right. Defense, maybe. But like you have up and coming names like Grant Udusky, who's the offensive coordinator for the Jags right now. He's 29, but that's a dude you could hire and he might be able to figure the whole thing out. So,
Mhm.
those are guys who you might want to give chances to a team where there is stability set.
Maybe this
They
is
could
Joe
just,
Brady's shot. Maybe this is
right.
the one he pounces
There's
on. I don't
stability
know.
set. There's stability set in the team. They have veterans. They have good rookies. They have an offense that's good. They have a defense that's pretty consistent, at least in the middle ground. They could be a little bit better.
All right, it's pretty crazy. The Joe Brady Burrow thing was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
We're nearer to that being a decade away ago than under 5 years.
No, I know.
I
But
don't know how much longer Joe Brady. It might
there's a
be
lot
time
of,
for him to go take that head coaching job because
I mean, he will be a
how
name
old is
this
Ben
year.
Johnson? Like 40 on the
No,
dot, 39.
he's like 38 or something like that. But Joe Brady will get his shot. It will be soon.
Because
But
that was one thing with Hartline I was looking at. I think Brian Hartline's like 49. Like, oh shit.
I
Yeah,
thought he was
bro,
much
it's
younger
time
than
to
that.
same.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
he's
But
old as shit. Well,
but
not
Grant,
49.
I just
I think
let's get through some of
39.
these games real quick. First thing I just want to say about the Vikings, it's the only thing I'm going to say. Merry Christmas to me. I'm watching Max Brosmer play football, and I hope he can show out and figure it out. But the Lions are playing for their playoff lives on the line here. Not a
Honestly,
good spot to
because
be in.
you're eliminated from the playoffs, like, well, are you
We
eliminated
are
from the playoffs?
eliminated. We are eliminated.
Okay.
But in
June,
Vikings fashion, we win
you
after
prefer?
we're
No, I
eliminated.
know.
So
I was about to say. I feel like you guys start winning.
yeah, that's what
Would you
happens.
prefer to lose these?
I mean, I'm never going to say I want to lose. I don't want to
Okay.
watch my team lose. But
I've had many times in my
I
life where I was like, just lose.
personally,
Chargers. I can't do
I can't really lose in this situation. It's more so if JJ McCarthy was playing, I can't really lose in this situation
it's fair.
because either I win and I see him develop, or we lose, we get a better pick, right? With Max Brosmer playing, we've established
Yeah, there's
he's
not
not going to be
much
Brock Purdy.
dub
So if we
involved in
win,
this.
maybe it's good for the fans just to see somebody win on Christmas, and good for
Hey,
the
Christmas morale. Christmas
yeah, good
2025 will
good
be
for the
lit.
locker room. Like Justin Jefferson might be a little bit more happy and stuff. But guys,
All right.
the Vikings
Okay.
didn't have a single Pro Bowler. We're one of 3 teams this year that didn't have a Pro Bowler, with the
Oh,
Jets and the
you'll get them
Saints.
with the opt outs. You'll get them.
But
You'll get them.
Max Brosmer is not going to be Brock Purdy. He might be a solid backup in the league for a really long time, but these are games that make or break getting Caleb Downs or Jeremiah Love.
I
And at
also
the
hate
end of
to
the
say
day,
it.
that could be a big thing. JJ
Yeah.
looked pretty good the last couple weeks, but health also matters, and we need to have things that can help support him and the defense.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll see, but
was crapping on the contract all off season, but damn it, Brock Purdy looks like it's pretty damn good.
what, he had 5 or 6 touchdowns yesterday, so pretty
Well, it's
solid.
just not even that. It's just like I don't really know how to describe this, but it's like when Brock Purdy drops back to pass, I assume it's a completion.
Yeah, I
there's
agree
certain
with that.
quarterbacks where just when they drop back, I assume it's a completion. I can't say that for every quarterback in the NFL.
No,
but
I agree.
right now with Purdy, he has reached that. When you're on the broadcast and you can't see the receivers and he throws it, you assume there's a guy wide open that he's throwing
Yeah.
to.
I would agree with that.
And so, Brock, you're making me eat my words right now. You might be worth that 50 mil
But also, though, let's talk 49ers and Bears right now, because that's a good segue. That's an explicit reason why the 49ers should win this game. The Bears secondary has been okay this season. They've had ups and they've had downs. But the 49ers versus the Colts, who has one of the best defenses in the NFL this year, were elite. Grant, they were elite. And I know George Kittle got hurt. I don't know what his status is for this next game. Christian McCaffrey was going off. George Kittle was going off. Juwan Jennings was getting everybody was involved. Everybody was involved. And the run game versus, I think the Colts had the number 1 run defense in the NFL going into last week. The run game looked extremely good. So it's just, I think it'd be very hard pressed. I will be amazed and I'll eat all of my words if the Bears win this game.
Yeah, I'm on the Bears. My whole reasoning is I just can't jump off of it. I was fading them like the first 2.5 months. Then I pick them last week and they win, so I can't jump off it now. It's weird. The Bears, it's like they seem like they're just kind of a relatively complete team. They run the ball pretty well. Caleb can pass the ball pretty well now. great blocking up front. And then, you know, on the defense, secondary, as you said, there's still stuff to be desired. But in doses, they can get stops when needed. In the pass game, mainly because of pass rush and in run defense, they're actually pretty damn good
I
at
mean,
stopping
I
the run.
mean, yeah, they are pretty complete
I'm
now.
not like picking this team to win a
No,
playoff
well, look,
game.
also to be fair, like they had a negative differential for most of the season, and I we compare them to the Minnesota Vikings from 2022 that lost to the Giants in the playoffs. And normally that would be the point that I go off and make, but now their point differential is plus 33 now, right? Like they have the consistency has kind of paid off, and they have been able to outscore some teams, but it's still the point of the good teams that they've played. How healthy have those teams been? And the 49ers are missing Nick Bosa, and I think Michael Williams is also hurt. But outside of that, they're pretty healthy. Um,
On offense, they're good.
yeah. So, that's my question. And if I see them be able to do this, like we've said in the past that, they probably would lose in the first round of the playoffs. But if they can win this game, yeah, they're looking good for the playoffs. I would give them more of a chance to win.
Would they clinch the division with a win?
Um, yeah, the Packers.
Yes.
I think if the Packers lose this week, they clinch the division.
Yes. Yeah,
So
they do.
I'm pretty sure it's between them and Green Bay now. Because that last game last week was essentially the game breaker, the quote unquote tiebreaker. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the official tiebreaker, but for just record point in
It
general.
kind of, well, weird tie for the Packers, so it's
Right.
weird.
So that's the problem. But that's just the interesting part for me is I need to see they like it's so hard to judge the Bears because every time they played a solid team this season, a good team this season, those teams have been hurt or they've been missing key players. So that's the issue. Or it's been like some weird, some weird issue that happened. But okay, Grant. Just like one or maybe two more games that I think are kind of important to talk about this week. One is your game, Texans and Chargers, because this is a potential playoff matchup and it has big considerations, big concerns for I think the Chargers are now locked in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure with the Colts loss, they are.
I think all of us
You
have
should be.
clinched.
So
Order's not clinched,
so
but
I think you still potentially can win your division. It's still
can't if we win out
possible.
because we have Broncos next week. So
So if you guys lose this week, resting your starters week 17 or week 18, sorry. If you guys win, definitely are playing, but it's just an interesting thing because this will show you kind of where your guys' matchup will be if you play the Texans in the playoffs. The defensive line is
I think
crazy
this
good.
is the worst possible matchup for the Chargers, literally, of all the AFC teams. I think Texans are the worst possible matchup. I'm genuinely concerned for Justin Herbert's health in this one.
So let me ask you this:
Genuinely
as
concerned.
somebody who owns Justin Herbert in fantasy and is playing in a championship game this week, should I start
Who's the other option?
it? Well, actually, no, just a non-quarterback.
All right,
Because
so I'll still go
I have
with
JJ
him.
McCarthy, and I have
Actually,
Michael
I'd say
Penix.
yes, you want to go with him because there's a very good chance. Poor game script, I mean that in a good way. Chargers are down late and they have to throw.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. Well, hey, that's at least good to know.
I'll
So
just be honest though, oh my God.
can we also just
Will
like
Anderson and Daniel Hunt, they are quite literally licking their lips right now.
yeah they've been doing it all week actually.
Austin Deculus is blocking one of them. Oh,
I also
goodness
just I want to give
gracious.
a little bit of a commendment, a round of applause for Quentin Johnston. The concussion he got in the preseason has
Dude,
still worked to this day.
he's just a serviceable NFL wide receiver now.
He figured it out.
He's just a serviceable. I'm not saying he's elite.
He
I'm
had a
not
pretty.
going
There was a
there.
couch last week.
I'm
That I
not
was like,
saying he's
damn.
great. I'm not even saying he's like worth a first round pick and living up to that yet. But like he is one of the 96 best wide receivers in the NFL. Yes.
Hey, that's better than a lot of wide receivers in the NFL. So
Hey, from what it was just 5 months ago, it's a big jump up the rankings.
yeah,
It's a massive,
massive
jump up.
jump.
I would say he might be the 75th best wide receiver in the NFL today, Everett. I think I'm ready to say that.
That's some big praise.
I know. And I don't want to get ahead of
That's
myself.
like the best third string wide receiver potentially of every NFL team.
Oh my God, I am realizing that puts him in the top half. Okay, he's like the 84th best wide receiver.
Just right
he's
outside of
halfway.
it. Just right outside of it.
He's the perfect median, not median wide receiver 3 in the NFL.
If you don't know the difference,
we're using too many words now with
we
this
gotta figure some stuff out.
Using too many words here with that. We're confusing the boys.
Median and mode. Let's take some math classes.
Oh. No, let's not take math classes. Let's take Waterboy classes. All right. How to make propel, guys.
I have the Texans list. You have to take the Chargers. I think it's going to be a very good game either way. Arguably decides
I hope so.
AFC,
kind of hate that's a standalone game because
it decides some AFC seeding. But Grant, what I will credit you
is massive.
What I will credit you is if this does end up being the playoff game and you lose this week, hard to beat a team twice. This is what silver lining.
Right now, the Chargers are the 6. Texans are actually the 7 right now. Jags have the 4 seed AFC South.
You could get a rematch of Jags.
Dude, I hate both of those. Literally. Dude, those are like the last 2 teams
I'd probably much rather play the Jags than I would the Texans.
I would too, but dude, I can't say I want the Jags.
No, I'm not saying you want, but you want, Grant, what you want is the Tennessee Titans, but
true.
That's not who you get.
Actually, what I want right now is the Kansas City Chiefs. Who is their quarterback?
Gardner Minshew still, he didn't tear his ACL.
Out.
No, he didn't tear his ACL.
He's on
or
IR.
It's Bouchelle.
Who was the guy who came in last week? It was the funniest name I had ever heard in my life.
I don't know. I know they picked up Bouchelle off.
I think they used that third guy emergency, like not on the 53-man, but you can have an extra quarterback thing.
Yeah.
I think it was that guy.
I didn't watch the game, so I don't know.
I don't blame you. Me neither. This is what I read on Twitter. So going off that.
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think this has just been a wild NFL season. Anybody can win any week. Any given Sunday has really, really kind of been the mantra of the season. So, Grant, I don't know. Is there like the only other game I'm really seeing here that the 2 games maybe that have relevance or 3 games actually? You got Eagles, Bills, Jags, Colts, and the Seahawks and Panthers. I funny enough, would not have been a game that I thought would be.
Eagles, Bills, I'd say is the one I'm next most interested in. I will say though, what concerns me is this line is 1.5. Bills
in Buffalo.
In Buffalo,
right?
But it's like essentially a pick'em, which gives me zero information on what Vegas thinks about this. So like, I don't know. This is truly a pick'em. Like we all think the Eagles suck. They do not look good right now. We are all thinking that. The Bills have looked good recently.
They looked great last week.
I'm afraid all of us are like, well, the Bills are winning, and then the Eagles. So that's why I'm, a little hesitant. This is the
time that the Eagles figure it out, though.
Exactly. Really. This is when they figure it out.
I would say it's not like the highest DEFCON, but like we're on alert right now. We're on alert.
Certainly on alert.
We're on alert.
The hand, we haven't removed that little glass rectangular thing when you before you press the red button.
The hand is levitating,
hovering over that glass case to lift it up to press the button.
Yeah, the key is like in your hand.
Yeah,
it's not like in, but it's in your.
Not
hand.
in your pocket. You took it out of your pocket. It's in hand.
It's in hand. It's in.
You're gripping that little key handle. Like you're ready. You haven't committed to do anything. But
honestly, and for that reason, I really don't have much analysis. I took the Bills because the Bills looked good last week.
The Bills look better. Everything tells you Bills right now in Buffalo. Everything is telling you Bills, and that's why I kind of think the Eagles could do it because everything is telling you Bills. Everything
they can.
It's only
they definitely can, but it quite literally is definition of pick 'em. If there's anything that I would say to do, over. Take the over in the game.
Yeah.
Over boys in the game.
Josh Allen, when they play a top team, Josh Allen might average the Bills offense, might average 34 points. When they play a top team and they need to score, I think they may average 5 times.
It's the meme where everybody's sitting back and then you lean forward like you're playing video games. That's what
literally. That's what Josh Allen does when he's down 17-0. He's like, oh, shit, we're playing? Oh, my bad.
You're like, oh, my bad.
My bad. That's on me, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, Grant, let's just wrap up with these last 2 games real quick. Seahawks and Panthers, next one. Panthers, I think, are in charge of the NFC South right
They
now.
are.
This is a lineup for a playoff game, and the seeds are going back and forth. We'll be flip flopping between the Bucks and the Panthers. I think rest of the season. I think the Bucks and the Panthers played last week. They play next week as well. So
Let me see.
I'm pretty sure. So this is a big game
I
for
hope they do. That'd be very
this is a big game for
exciting.
Carolina. Big game for
They
Tampa
do.
Bay technically as well. Um, I
Sunday,
the,
January
the
4th.
Seahawks are playing for the 1 seed. They do have something on the line.
Yeah.
And I think that the Panthers have looked pretty good lately. Bryce Young has looked very good. From where he was just a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago.
I'll be
And
honest, he's starting to look like Bama Bryce.
yeah, and look, like I want to give the Panthers credit. I don't know if they're at that tier yet where they will beat the number
Yeah,
one,
no.
number two seed. However, like I've said every week, and
At
I just
home,
said
they're a team.
what I will say, they're playing at home.
I know.
But
That's
what I
I'm
will
saying.
say every week, I've said it, and I've just said it this week. Any team in the NFL this year can win any week. Like it has happened so many times this year. So I don't want to say take the Seahawks, like because it's possible the Panthers win.
We
I
could even
just
say shuck it now. He's 4-1 as a
I
starter.
just would like to say though that the Seahawks, like Panthers, are playing for playoff livelihood. Like if they don't win the division, they're not in the playoffs,
Yeah,
and that
they
that
need to
makes a
win the division
desperate
to make it.
team play so hard. And for that reason, I could see the Panthers winning. The Seahawks are in the playoffs, but it's just because they're playing for the 1 seed. I do think that like they're gonna really want to win this game in the same way the Panthers really want to win. So it's which side of desperation do you want to take? And the Seahawks are a little bit more of a complete team, top to bottom, right now. That's why
They
I'm going
are
with them.
certainly much more of
But
a complete
I would
team.
not be surprised if the Panthers win. Ironically, I took the Seahawks. I do want the Panthers to win. I want to see that happen.
I'll be honest. Now that I'm thinking about a pick for this game, I think play of the game. It might be Panthers first half or Panthers to score a touchdown on their opening drive.
I'm gonna give you a special one. Bryce Young, two passing touchdowns. Two passing touchdowns.
So over 1.5.
Over 1.5 or over
Okay.
2, depending on what the line is.
Let's say over 1.5. Yeah. Bryce been looking good. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to that CJ Bryce, and I'll admit it, nobody said CJ Stroud should be drafted before Bryce. Literally, nobody
Well, I think
said
you
it.
actually did when we.
I don't even know if I did because
I'm
I
pretty
was
sure you
like,
did
well,
when
it
we made
depends.
when we
Is
made
it
our lists,
Georgia
our
CJ
rankings.
Stroud or do you get Michigan CJ Stroud? Like that was my big thing. But coming out of the draft, like Bryce Young was a much better prospect than CJ Stroud in terms of that mobility factor. Like I'm not saying Lamar Jackson elusiveness, but
Don't
it's
be talking about elite college football player mobility like that.
it's a tinge of like just pocket mobility.
Yeah.
I'm not saying but can you evade one rusher, quick little move in the pocket, and then extend a play with your feet? Like Caleb,
CJ
Bryce,
can do it sneakily, but it's
CJ
not.
can do it
It's
at
not.
doses.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
not the same
CJ
way.
is his
Yeah.
best. Feet still in the pocket. He's taken 4 total steps before he throws the ball from when he got it.
Okay,
That's where
Grant.
he's at his best,
Let's wrap up with the last game being Jags and Colts. I don't think that the Colts are officially eliminated from the playoffs.
I think they might be.
They could have been last week. I'm not entirely sure if Phillip Rivers is going to be playing in this game or not. If he is, I do expect him,
why
regardless of
not?
if they've been eliminated or not.
He's gonna win one of these.
Yeah,
I just don't know
I
which one
don't
it
like.
is.
Even if the Colts have been eliminated, if Phillip Rivers plays, they have a chance to win. And arguably, I know Daniel Jones looked really good, but arguably Phillip Rivers at 44 years old has been the best quarterback that the Colts have had all year in the last 2 games.
The offense is just like humming.
Yeah.
I could tell by the body language of the receivers, like Pittman and Josh Downs are into it right now. And it's like I did not see him into it.
Yeah. And I mean, look, Daniel Jones,
Really,
all
Pittman,
the
dude.
all the
Pittman's
props
just
all the props to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was having a hell of a start of the season and was still doing pretty well before he got hurt. Phillip Rivers is just, I mean, that shows you the separation in the tiers of quarterbacks between what we had now and what we had a decade ago.
Yeah, it's like I know I took it for granted, but like literally, I don't know.
But
60% of NFL teams had a franchise quarterback when we grew up. Like what?
And
20
it's
of the
an
32.
iconic franchise quarterback too. On top of that,
We're talking guys who are the city that they played
yeah,
for.
and they
Like
are arguably maybe the best quarterback those franchises have had ever.
at
That's a
minimum, they're all
golden age
like
of football.
top two, top
Yeah.
three, you know?
But the one thing about this game, and the reason why I think it's the game to watch, even if the Colts are eliminated, is it means a lot for the Jags. And if the Colts pull off an upset in this game, the Texans can jump up and take that division.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. Is it might not necessarily be for the Colts and their potential, ability to make the playoffs.
Yeah, for some
It's
reason
for the Texans.
I thought Texans got Jags last week of the year, but they don't. They have Colts instead. But yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, that's gonna be tight. I'm assuming we're losing the Texans, which would put us I believe just in that 7 seed.
Yeah, I think you end up
Like
playing the
tiebreakers included, Houston would
yeah
then have a tiebreaker over us. So yeah, I think we're probably gonna be the 7 and then go face the
to
2
Jacksonville.
seed. I think they're gonna be the 3. Houston slash
Could
Jacksonville.
be could be
Who's the other?
Denver. Could be Denver or the Patriots.
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah, no, it's Pats or Bills. Which give me the Pats. Give me the Pats. I
So
want the
it's kind of
Pats. I
kind
do
of
not
big
want
for
the
you guys
Bills.
to win your division then.
We like
Yeah,
really
that's
need
big.
to,
Um,
but this is just a gauntlet.
yeah, no, like
Texans
we said, the
Broncos
the
to end the year,
AFC
dude.
the AFC this year is kind of anybody's
Screwed.
year because all the teams are so good. The NFC, not as much.
I'll be honest. I think the NFC it's just like so tight and what the helly, if
No,
that
I
makes
agree.
sense.
I just think I said this earlier, but I do think the Super Bowl champion will come out of the AFC this year.
Oh, I think it's like I'm very confident NFC's winning it. Rams,
You're
Seahawks,
just talking
whichever one of
Rams
those.
Seahawks, but I think that there are just so many overall top to bottom. The teams are better in the AFC.
Really? I don't think I like
When
I
I'm looking at the
I
whole
could
thing,
pick
and
these AFC teams
I'm
apart,
going
but
to
they're
use the average of the whole thing. If we had a number for every team and we ranked them by skill by number, I think
and then
the
we got
average.
Rams and Seahawks are at 1-2.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Let's say we give Rams 100, Seahawks 99, right? But I think the difference between those and the Panthers compared to the top to bottom
okay,
in
I see
in the
what you mean from
AFC, and you
there.
take the average between them, the AFC is probably just more stacked, top to
Fair,
bottom, better teams, top to bottom is more so why
fair.
I'm saying
A
that.
lot more top heavy in the NFC, but
Right,
yeah,
right. But with that said, the team that comes out of the NFC can and could potentially and will win the Super Bowl. It's very possible. I just think that if you go probability wise, the team that comes out of the AFC is more likely to do well.
it's pretty much like Bills. Like this is your year.
Oh
Like
yeah,
this is it. This is it.
exactly. There's
You better win the Super Bowl this year.
I
Like
think
or
I
else
mean
I
the
don't
only
know
teams
when.
that I'm pretty sure the only teams that the Bills have lost to have been the
Pats,
Pats. No, have they
uh,
lost with Josh Allen? They lost with the Pats.
like week 3. That's what
No, I'm
started
talking about
this
in the
whole
playoffs. I'm
thing.
talking about in the playoffs. Like in the
Oh,
playoffs, I'm pretty sure it's just the
playoffs. I
Chiefs
don't.
and the Bengals, and I think that might be it.
Yeah, they've
And
never
they're all
lost to the
gone.
Ravens.
And the
Yeah,
Ravens, even
no.
if they did lose, they also might not be
Well,
in the
Josh Allen
playoffs.
don't
So,
lose the Ravens in the playoffs. So,
but
but yeah,
I,
like Ravens out, Chiefs out. He's steamrolling through the Broncos if need be. He's steamrolling through the Chargers if that
if
were
he
to
wins the Super
happen.
Bowl, Grant, what a year for Josh Allen.
I think
What a
Texans
year.
Texans might be their toughest matchup or
I mean,
Jags.
that defense wins championships. You just said that in college football. Defense wins
I think
championships.
it. I think Texans Jags is their worst matchup.
Although I will say, if we get a Super Bowl, that's either Texans or Jags. Oh, boy, that's just like we were talking about. You're talking about wanting to have G5s in college football. That's kind of the definition of that in the NFL.
That'd be just a bummer in the summer.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
but
Hot girl bummer right there.
yeah, with that, I think we're gonna wrap up here. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening, raise 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod. You can follow me Grant on Twitter at Everett6 at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Make sure to check us out there. So you miss anything else. We also post exclusive content on TikTok and on Instagram. So make sure to check this out if you miss anything else. And with that, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Waterboy Christmas. See you guys in the next episode. Waterboy's out.